Hi, my name is Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy loan modification foreclosure lawyer here in Miami, Florida. For almost 13 years, I've been doing this type of law, helping people with loan modifications, foreclosures, and bankruptcies, different debtor situations with people's real estate and other issues that they have with credit. Ever since I started doing this YouTube channel, I started getting a lot of questions specifically about loan modifications. I've done several videos on this subject, but what I want to do today is boil it down to a very few important tips, the most important tips that I think people need to take into account when they're doing a loan modification. The biggest thing we need to try to do is avoid the rat maze of a loan modification. Loan modifications can be a rat maze. You basically get dropped into this maze of different types of requirements and people asking you for different things, and a never-ending process that basically never turns into anything. People get frustrated, give up, and a lot of times lose their homes. This is a frustrating process, and I'm going to try to help you avoid this with a few important tips. Now, the most important thing is you need to understand the process. The process is it's actually pretty simple. When you submit a loan modification, a underwriter takes a look at what you submitted and then decides if what you submitted is worthy enough, or if it matches what they require for you to get a loan modification. That's it. There's no mystery beyond that. It's a human being that puts your information into a computer program that spits out a number. If that number is within the range of what they accept as possible loan modification, you get it. If it's not, they reject you. Now, there are other reasons that you get rejected. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I want you to pay attention to these few small things that you need to do to get a loan modification, because these are the most deadly mistakes people make. And when you make these mistakes, no matter what else you do, no matter how worthy you are of getting a loan modification, you'll get denied. We're entering into the recovery phase of the coronavirus financial meltdown. The problem is about 3 million households are still in some form of forbearance or default with their mortgages. These folks run the risk of not being able to participate in the recovery because their homes are still in limbo. The banks are being told now that they must attempt to do a loan modification for folks who cannot pay their mortgages. That is going to cause a lot of people to put themselves in a confusing situation of applying for a loan modification. As I explained, a loan modification can be a confusing rat maze where a lot of people get lost and then give up and then eventually lose their homes. These videos, all my videos that we've been talking about, these subjects, the purpose of these videos is to try to get you to the point where you understand the process and don't make those mistakes. So please subscribe and like my videos so I keep making these videos for you and everybody else who's in this situation. Now, let's get to the tips. The first thing that we got to talk about is when you apply, the most important thing that you need to do when you submit a loan modification package is submit a complete package the first time. This is the biggest error people make when they submit loan modifications. A lot of people think, well, I'll just submit this half filled out application unsigned, and I'll submit some of the paperwork, or I'll submit it in some form that they're not really requesting, and they'll figure it out and they'll call me when they need something. This attitude will get you denied. You must follow the rules to a T when you're dealing with these banks. These banks are bureaucracies. Bureaucracies have lists of things that you need to provide in order for things to happen. They'll give you 10 things you need to do. You will do 9 of them perfectly and mess up on the 10th, and they will deny you. And a lot of times they won't even tell you why, or you won't understand why. It's very important that you sit down and you do this properly. Don't do this halfway. Do not do this in a way that the banks will deny you, because eventually you'll get denied enough times that the bank will say, well, you don't qualify and you're done. So make sure you do the process and you fill out the forms and you do everything properly from the first time. At least try. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you should try for perfection. Now, the very specific thing that we're going to talk about here in this part of this episode are the bank statements. Okay, bank statements are very important for the loan modification process. Bank statements are the way that the bank is verifying your income. They're not there to look at what you spend. That's not the purpose of the bank statements. The bank statement requirement is so they can see deposits into your account of your income. So the first thing, obviously, is you better deposit your income into your bank. If you don't do that, if you cash your checks and don't deposit money, you're not gonna. They're gonna deny you because you haven't proven your income. If you just like a lot of people deposit your checks into your bank account, you should be fine. Now, very specific. This is very specific, but very important. You need to provide bank statements, not transcripts. And what I mean by that is the old style bank statement that you would get in the mail when we used to get things in the mail, where you would open up your envelope and you would have the date on the top, the deposits, the credits, the withdrawals, all your information nicely placed. That is super important. You need to give them this statement, not a printout of your ongoing transactions from your phone or from your computer. That's not what they want. They want you to go to the part of your account and print or download the PDF bank statements that have your name, your address, the complete formal bank statements. If you don't give them this, they're going to deny you. If you don't give them exactly this, they don't care about transcripts. Transcripts are not real for them. The only thing that's real are the actual bank statements. So don't make this very, very stupid mistake. A lot of people do this thinking, oh, well, it doesn't matter. The information's there. They'll deny you. If you give them transcripts or screenshots or anything else, you will get denied. So be very, very aware of this requirement and do what I say. Because if you don't do this, you're just wasting your time and you're going to run into a situation where you're going to lose your home. Now, the other thing I see and the other big problem that people have is waiting to the last minute. And specifically for people in forbearance right now. People in forbearance right now have the opportunity to apply for loan modification while they're in forbearance. This is a very unusual thing. Usually the only time you can apply for loan modification is when you're late. Right now you're technically not late. You're in forbearance. But you have proven your hardship by being in forbearance. So therefore, you can apply for a loan modification. This is the only time you're ever going to be able to do this. The next time, when the forbearances are over, the only time you can apply for loan modification is when you're actually late and getting the credit issues and all the problems that come with being late. So do not wait to the last minute before the forbearance ends to apply, because you're going to run into a situation that they don't make decisions immediately. These decisions could take months, and a lot of times they request other things and other information, and if you wait till the last minute, you're going to have a big problem. It's very stressful because you're not going to know what to do. Do I come out of forbearance? Do I stay in forbearance? Do I wait? What do I do? These forbearance programs are going to end at some point. A lot of people in September, that's it. That's the end of their forbearance. Be very, very careful. Do not wait till the last minute to do this. This also applies for people who are not in forbearance but who have foreclosures and other things going on. Do not wait until the sale date to apply for loan modification. You run the risk of losing your home. This is very, very important. The last and most important, I don't know if it's the most important, but extremely important tip that I'm going to give you right now. And it seems like a small thing, but this is deadly, deadly, deadly mistake if you don't do this. You have to watch your mail. The banks do not communicate via email. They might email you something. They might email you a notice here or there. Do not expect notices to appear on your phone. Do not expect emails. They send you snail mail, pieces of paper in the mail. You must go to the post office or to your post box, get the mail, open the envelope, and read it. Do not throw it away. I know it's stressful. Nobody likes reading these letters. It's the worst part of your day. But if you're applying for loan modification, you must read the correspondence that they send you and pay attention to what they're saying. A lot of times, what they're asking for is buried, hidden in the correspondence. Because basically, These are form letters, and they add one little sentence at the end as to what they're asking for. Usually they'll send you a letter saying, request updated bank statements or request something else. When you see that, do what they're asking you to do. Do not ignore it. If you ignore it, you will get denied. That letter is not for, it's not for fun. They are telling you what they want, and if you don't produce these things that they want, you get denied. It's very important that you pay attention to the mail, that you do what they ask you to do always. You basically belong to them during this process. If you don't do what they tell you, you get denied and you'll lose your home. So that's it for now. I hope these tips help you while you're applying for your loan modifications. Again, my name is Diego Mendez. I'm a loan modification, bankruptcy, and foreclosure lawyer here in Miami, Florida. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've helped thousands and thousands of people with this problem. There's going to be a lot of loan modifications now. A lot of people do not understand this process. It's not a refinancing. It's a loan modification. It's a completely different process. Make sure that you pay attention to these tips, that you do what I say, because this is the only chance you're going to get a loan modification. After these forbearances are over, people are going to start defaulting. And once you default, you get on the foreclosure train. And that foreclosure train sometimes has only one stop, which is the sale of your home. So be very careful. God bless everybody. I hope everybody has a great week. Please like and subscribe to my channel, Debt Law, Survival Guide for the Desperate Debtor. And I hope the very best for you and your family now that we're coming out of the coronavirus financial nightmare.